What is going on, you guys? It's your boy, and today I'm going to show you the best way to start an Archeage. Archeage is a very complicated game. If you start this game without friends or any guides, which there are very few guides in this game, you're going to have a bad time. Now, if you start this game properly and you progress your character properly, you're also playing, with the right people, right amount of knowledge, the game can be very fun and very rewarding. Now a lot of people have asked me about my review for the game. I do plan on doing kind of like a separate video after I've kind of touched on a lot more content in the game. I don't like to be one of those people that review a game and I'm only like halfway through the content. It doesn't make any sense. So like my TLDR, my opinion on Archeage is that it is very close to what we need in a game, but there are several aspects missing that I would personally like to see, but I'm gonna go more into depth on that. However, I will say for $10, it is an excellent game. It's excellent steal. You're not gonna get more content out of any game for $10 that I personally know. I definitely say it's worth it. However, let's go ahead and hop into the fundamentals and the basics so I can teach you what you need to do in order to start playing the game. All right, so right here you will see that I am on my main character, Darkness, and essentially I am sitting in Austera, which is the main town, and on my other screen here I have my alt character. Now my alt character is already rank 12 in Ancestry Levels, which Ancestry Levels are what happens after you reach max level. So 0 to 55 starting, you guys. Essentially, no matter what character you pick, you are going to go 0 to about 40, 0 to 35. It depends on which race you pick, but it's going to be around level 40-ish if you pick a Warborn. And for Ron, you'll get to Austera closer to your 30s, okay? So what you're going to do when you start the game is you're literally only going to do green story quests. And obviously the green story quests are dependent upon your race, and this is why I say you get here at different levels. The only thing you're going to do is green story quests. You skip all yellow quests because EXP is boosted 2 times on weekdays and is boosted 3 times on weekends. So depending upon when you're playing, regardless, you're never going to need yellow quests. Yellow quests are useful for other rewards, however they are not primary for leveling. So the fastest way to level is the main story quest, the green quest, in this version of the ArcheAge FRESHSTART. If you play a different version of Archeage, it's not going to be the same. This is related to the Cacao FRESHSTART, okay? So after you've done your main storyline and you've gotten to, let's say you got into Austera, right? This is the part where you're going to need help, okay, you guys, because it gets very complicated. So as you'll see, all these people sitting here AFK. There's so many people I can barely even walk past them, man. It's like going through a freaking YG concert, bro. Like seriously, this game is so populated. Like trying to a point the server's overpopulated. But anyway, so you guys, what you're gonna do is when you start out is when you get to Austera, you complete all your Austera quests here until it tells you to leave, but you're not gonna leave when it tells you to leave. What you're gonna do is you're gonna come over here to this armor merchant and you're gonna start on your armor pieces. The quest line is gonna give you basic armor pieces. You're gonna have choices of picking your armor, right? So I'm gonna go through the basics of what you guys need to know in order to pick your armor and pick your gear. Now, if you are going mage or caster, right? You're gonna go cloth. Never go plate, because it's easier to go cloth in the slot for physical defense, which is what I'm doing on my main character here. He's a caster. So basically I have cloth gear and I'm slotting it with resilience, which is crit resistance, right? And I'm slotting it with resilience, stamina, and spirit for my main DPS stat, but I'm kind of like hybrid right now, but that's because I'm a caster, right? If you're going to go melee, typically you're going to want to go leather, right? I would not really ever go plate, to be honest, other than like in arenas. It's just kind of not really worth it. Now there are, you can do the opposite. You can go plate and then slot your plate to have like magical defense, right? However, there's a lot more casters in this game, and casters are way more OP than dark runners, even though dark runners are extremely powerful and they will one-shot you. You know, if you want to counter a specific class, you can make those specific class builds, but I'm giving you general information. Like I said, caster, cloth, and then spec your gems for physical. And then like if you're going melee, go leather, because you're gonna get bonuses for your gear. And you look under here, every gear set, once you hit 4 pieces, is gonna give you a certain amount of bonus. You get magic damage, melee damage, rain damage, and healing damage for cloth, right? Now if I look at somebody here with plate, he's getting way less damage, way less healing, but he's getting more health. So he's more tanky, but you're doing way less damage. So you're nerfing your damage. That's why you don't want to go caster with plate, because you're all about damage as a caster, right? Then when you look at the leather buff, you're getting a great amount of damage. You are getting more damage than I am getting. Even though his gear is lesser than mine, he's getting more damage, right? He's getting more health. The leather is the overall more balanced of the 2 sets. However, cloth is going to give that magic defense, man. It's going to give the basic magic defense on me. All right, so now that you guys know about gear sets, right? You actually need to pick your gear set when you're at Austera. So whenever you decide on what gear set you want, right? You need to roll for the basic set of gear, this armor set, right? And then what you're gonna do, like let's say you buy this, you're gonna open it up and you're gonna get everything that it says right here: the cap, the jerkin, the breech, the foots, the boots, the gauntlets, everything, right? And when you open this up, it's not gonna look like my gear. It's not gonna be haram. It's gonna be literally basic tier 1 gear. Explore, like it's not even here. I'll just open it. It's not even explorer's gear. It's just basic, literal basic gear, right? And it has no real stats, nothing, right? What you have to do is you have to take this gear set, go to the general merchant, and you get these infusions from the quest line as well. But you're gonna take these infusions and you're gonna level up all of the gear set until it's max, which currently the max on this gear is arcane. So you're gonna take the story level 1 infusions in the piece of gear. You're gonna hit gear upgrade, right? You're gonna hit gear upgrade. You're gonna put it in there. Then you're gonna slot all those synthesis materials in this costume. And after all of your after it's maxed out, you're going to you're not going to synthesize again. You're going to awaken with a green awakening scroll. That's for tier 1. And then after you awaken, it's gonna reset back to explorer's gear, but it's gonna go down a grade. Every time you awaken gear, it goes down a grade, right? So you currently look at my gear, right? I have my on my main, so I have my chest piece at divine. It's max grade. You can see like above tempering, above, like below the gems, above tempering, you see max grade. But if I go to this and I look below the defense stats and above tempering, you see synthesis available. It says arcane because it's not maxed out. So I've already maxed out this piece. So if I awaken it, it's not gonna be celestial anymore. It's gonna go below celestial. It's gonna go to divine, right? Now those are the basics of upgrading gear. You take a piece of gear, you upgrade it to max, you reset it with an awakening scroll, you upgrade it to the next max. That awakening scroll allows it to go higher than what it previously could have went. Now the thing about this is, and why it's going to take you some time to do this at Austera, and why it's so important to do this, is because for your first stat roll, you want your first stat roll in your gear to be your main stat for your character. So because this character is wielding a sword, let's say I'm going to go Dark Runner, which I'm going to swap it eventually, but let's say I'm going Dark Runner, I need to be swapping, going for strength. Like look at the first stat line all the way at the bottom, my green stat lines. It's strength and resilience. Those are 2 great first stats. However, I don't have any change attempts on this gear because I haven't upgraded. And it's going to be the same for most of my gear on my main. I don't have any change attempts because I've already changed all the stats to what I want. But you look at my cape. Look at my cape. So my cape, I can actually change stats. So I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I'm going to demonstrate this. So because I can actually change the stats on this, I don't have to use any extra like items. Okay. But I'm telling you this because you guys, if you don't get the first, like your first stat line in your gear when you're rolling your noob's gear, If you don't get the first stat line that you want for your main stat, you need to destroy that piece and you need to restart. You need to get every single starter piece with the first line to have the stat you want, because the second and third line stats are going to be a little bit more difficult to get. So you want to at least make sure you don't have to use change attempts on your first stat line, right? That way you can get your second and third stat lines as well, and it'll be easier. All right, so again, because I have change attempts on this, I don't have to use my serendipity stones to change stats. I can just use the base stats that are already in the item piece. Every time you upgrade, you're going to get more change attempts. So because this is that spirit, intelligence, stamina, magic defense is not bad, don't get me wrong, but because I'm wearing cloth, I don't really need magic resistance. All the stats I already have is gray, and then the stats that I'm capable of getting are going to be green for the one that I've selected, or blue for the second stat lines. But I don't want magic defense, I want health. So I'm going to re-roll this 5 times. And this is what you're going to be doing with your gear as well. You always oh, I got max health first roll. Perfect. Yeah, so you're gonna, like I said, when you're going through your gear, you want your main stat line first roll, and until you get that first roll, you don't awaken again. After you get your first stat line roll, then you awaken again. Then your second and third line stats, they don't matter as much. You just want that first stat line. And then after you get to a good point with your gear, and they've given you, you have like 5, you want to all, if you get 5 change attempts, use them, because the next time you upgrade it, you're gonna go, you don't want to go over the max of change attempts. You always want to gain a change attempts, and it's never going to go over 5. So if you hit 5, use a couple and try and roll for stats you need. If your gear is perfect, then you don't need to roll anymore. Obviously, it's logic, right? So that is the basics for you guys starting this game. That is a lot of information, I know, but that is the basis of what's going to get you to end game. You quest, get to Ancestry 55, but before that, once you hit Austera, you slot your gear right, you learn the gear progression, and you build your character's stats so you're powerful. So once you go back to questing, you go back to leveling, you are already in the correct direction to where you can be strong in the game. All right, now other things that I want you guys to focus on as you're learning the game is labor. You need labor for almost everything in this game, and that's why I have 2 characters, because I don't want to be spending labor on useless stuff on my main. I don't want to be opening coin purses. I don't want to be life scaling on my main. I don't want to do anything other than upgrading gear, because I want my gear score to be as high as possible. On my alt character, I can open random stuff, right? I can open coin purses. I can trade gold to my main. You know, I can buy honor gems and trade them to my main, but I'm not wasting any labor on my main. Please do not do it, guys. It's gonna slow your progress. But on your main, the things that you do, again, some more things you want to focus on is the marketplace. You guys don't sleep on the marketplace. The fresh server product, Cacao is giving us a bunch of free crap, basically making this a private server, which I'm happy about. All the free stuff, so you don't really have to grind this hard. So you get the bound labor rechargers, you get those daily, you get the angel wing elixirs, you get those daily, and you use them off cooldown because they're going to replenish your labor. Once your labor is at 7k, spend it on something, upgrade something. Never let your labor go capped over 7k. But once once reset happens, you want to be spending all of your labor rechargers, and you want to cap out your labor. I literally can't use any more of these because I've used them all today, and that's what you're going to do every day. You're going to be spamming your potion, you're going to be spamming your labor rechargers, and spamming all your labor to upgrade your gear. Other things that are useful in this marketplace is the level 50 box and the Arc Pass upgrade ticket, which that's going to upgrade your Arc Pass so that you can get quests, and you get free rewards when going through this Arc Pass. You literally just get free rewards for leveling up the Arc Pass. It's like a battle pass in most games. Your login rewards, daily login rewards are very important. Your Arc Blessing for 30 days, which is it's basically a premium buff. Those are all very useful in this marketplace. Those are the basics of this game, you guys. I don't want to overload you with any more information. That's what I want you to focus on if you're starting Archeage. And if you have any questions, I know I explained a lot. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below, and I'll catch you next video. Peace and love, you guys.